कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। We have been witness to the love, to the brotherhood that each of them showered. In the due process, it was mentioned that Rama and Lakshmana were very attached. Bharata and Shatrughna were very attached. To explain this, there is one particular legend which has been told generation after generation. Valmiki doesn't mention of that. What is that particular legend or anecdote, aitikyam for our understanding? It seems there were 4 cradles placed one after the other in the Raja Darbhar of Raja Dasharatha. The first cradle Rama was placed, second Bharata, third Lakshmana, fourth Shatrughna. As the naming ceremony, Namakaranam, was done, Dasharatha noticed that the 4 boys were crying. All 4 were crying, and at a high pitch. Imagine a house, one child cries, we cannot take it. 4 children simultaneously crying. Dasharatha thought that something must be wrong here. He asked Vasishtha to look at the children and advise what should be done. Vasishtha came and looked at the crying boys, the infants, and said, "Please keep the cradle of Lakshmana next to the cradle of Rama. Please keep the cradle of Shatrughna next to the cradle of Bharata." So they changed positions. So Rama's cradle, Lakshmana's cradle, Bharata's cradle, Shatrughna's cradle. So the crying reduced by half, the overall crying reduced by half. But the king was still worried. Vasishtha Maharishi, why should these children cry? We have fed them well. We are entertaining them well. Why should they cry? Then Vasishtha said, I have got another solution. Take away 2 cradles. Place Lakshmana in the same cradle as that of Rama. Place Shatrughna in the same cradle as that of Bharata. After they did so, the crying stopped. So then Vasishtha hinted through his eye gestures at Dasharatha that this is how the attachment amongst the brothers would be. So this is one anecdote that is being told to us time and again. Now, the boys grew and they were tutored under the guidance of Vasishtha Maharishi. So Vasishtha was a Brahma Rishi. He tutored them on Brahma Vidyas. He gave them the Vedantic knowledge. He also gave them knowledge about Dhanur Vidya. He had many tutors under him, under his supervision. They taught these princes all the possible martial arts. Now, the king was worried one day as to why my children are not married, why my sons are not married. This is how the shlokam goes. Atha raja Dasharathastesham darakriyam prati. Why are my sons not married? I am not able to find the right bride for my sons. Chintayamasa dharmatma sopadhyaya sabandhavaha. So upadhyaya, along with the religious advisors such as Vasishtha, Vamadeva, Dasharatha was in his own world worrying about the future of his children now that they were not married. Now you may wonder, sir, just a few minutes back you said they were infants in the cradle and now the father is worrying about their marriage. Yes, this is the difference between Srimad Ramayanam and Srimad Bhagavatam. While Ramayanam completely describes about Rama, the Dashamaskandam, Ekadashaskandam and certain parts of Dwadashaskandam describe about Krishna avatar. So here you have Rama's life history, there you have Krishna's life history. Here, just for our understanding, in Rama avataram, Rama was born. He was tutored under Vasishtha. Now his age is 12. So Rama's age is 12 when Dasharatha was worrying that no brides could be found for his talented, very well fit, eligible sons. Rama was at the age of 12. What happened between Rama's birth and his 12th age? He studied well. He was obedient to his parents. There is no particular description of his boyhood, adulthood by Valmiki. Let us now go to Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam talks about how Krishna was born, how Krishna crawled, how Krishna stole the butter, how Krishna played with the Gopika Stris, how Krishna lifted the Govardhana Parvatam, how Krishna danced on the Kaliya snake, how Krishna played the flute, how Krishna killed all the asuras from Putana, Keshi, Shakata, Trinavarta, Pralamba, Dhenuka, Agha, Mushtika, Chanura and then Kamsa. And then it describes about how his entry into Mathura, the particular Nagaram was. You may be wondering, sir, in Rama Avataram, from the first till the 12th year, we don't have description. In Krishna Avataram, most of the description is below the age of 12. Why so? Because memories can be etched. We can remember certain incidents only when they are extraordinary. Remember, every day we eat. We have breakfast, lunch. Do we remember those days? But probably the day when you may have had your favorite dish along with your favorite relatives, you will never forget that day. So you need certain description in incidents in everyday life for that to be etched in our memory. Rama's life was very normal. He listened to his guru. He listened to his guru Mata Arundhati. He listened to his father. He listened to all his mothers. He was very respectful and loving towards his brothers. He was respectful towards all the citizens. What is there to remember? He is a perfect person. So, Valmiki did not want to spend many shlokas describing Rama's boyhood. Whereas Krishna, was he like that? He was born in one city, grew up in the other city. Before the other people could come, he could break those pots. He will steal that butter. He will get himself tied to the mortar. He will lift the mountain. He will dance on a snake. Every activity of Krishna Avataram is unique. So that is why more time is allocated to the description of Krishna's boyhood and adulthood. Now let us come to Srimad Ramayanam. Rama was at the age of 12. Now, there is many debate that goes around the age of Rama and Sita in the public domain. People will say, Tulsidas ji says 6, Kamban in the Tamil tradition says 4. What is the correct age? The correct age as per Valmiki Ramayanam, Rama was at the age of 12. Sita was at the age of 6 when they married. So, we have to be very clear. Now you may ask, sir, does he explicitly state that Rama was at the age of 12? There are 4 instances where the ages are discussed. 1. Dasharatha talks to Vishwamitra about Rama's age. Unashodasha varisho me Ramo Rajivalochanaha. This is one statement. Second, Kaushalya, she rants, she laments to Rama, I have been waiting for all these years, for the last 17 years since your birth, to now see you go to the forest. That is 2. Third, after Kaushalya's ranting comes Maricha Vakyam. Maricha reprimands Ravana when the latter suggests that he should go as a gem-studded golden deer. He says, at the age of 12, Rama hit me from the Yajnavatika and I came and fell here. Ravana, don't do this mistake. 3. Fourth, to the king Ravana who came in the disguise of a parivrajaka, an ascetic, Sita discusses about the age at which they left Ayodhya to the forest. So these 4 statements. 1. Bala Kandam. second Ayodhya Kandam, 2 in Aranya Kandam. So all these 4 statements put together, for students of mathematics, you will relish it. If X is treated as the age of Sita, Y is the variable treated as the age of Rama, using X, Y as variables, we will get 4 equations, and when we solve those simultaneous equations, X is 6 and Y is 12. This is our understanding. So here he says, Atha Raja Dasharatastesham Darakriyam Prati Chintayamasa Dharmatma Sopadhyayassa Bandhavaha. So he was worried, why is my son, who is at the age of 12, not married? You may be wondering. Sir, he had sons. He had Bharata, Lakshmana and Shatrughna. He should be equally worried about them. Please remember that the other sons were also of his age. The same 4 sons of Dasharatha were born on consecutive days. So they were quite the same age. So if Dasharatha is worried about Rama, it means he is also worried about the other 3 sons. I think in many mathematical solutions we say quod ergo demonstratum, which means if we have proven one statement, similar statements can be proven in a similar fashion, is what it means. So Dasharatha was very worried. At that point, when Dasharatha was worried and was consulting his strategic counselors, Vishwamitra barges into the assembly. Purvam Raja Rishir Shabdena Tapasa Dyotita Prabhaha Brahma Rishitvam Manupraptaha Pujyosi Bahudhamaya. Pujyosi Bahudhamaya. Dasharatha praises Vishwamitra because Vishwamitra, though he was a very powerful Rishi, he was in fact the friend to the entire world. Vishwasya Vishwamitraha. The one who is the friend to the entire world is Vishwamitra. Very nice Maharishi, a very adept Maharishi. But he was also prone to get angry very soon. So the kings in those days used to be very careful with Vishwamitra's presence in their darbar or sabha. So he says, Purvam Raja Rishir Shabdena, you who had once been celebrated by the term Raja Rishi, then through severe austerities won the title Brahma Rishi. Tapasa Dyotita Prabhaha Brahma Rishitvam Manupraptaha. From Raja Rishi you became Brahma Rishi. We are all so blessed, just not me, the members in this court and all the citizens of Ayodhya are blessed by your presence. In fact, while describing Vishwamitra, one of the earliest transcreations to the Ramayana in the regional Indian language, we have Tamil. Kamba Ramayanam, Kamban, the poet states, it seems Dasharatha told Vishwamitra, Hey Vishwamitra, your presence is so important to us, for which Vishwamitra replied, see, I'll tell you one thing Dasharatha, if people like me who are rishis, if we have a problem, if we face a problem, we may first go to Indra. If Indra is not able to do, we may go to Brahma. If Brahma is not able to do, we may go to Shiva. If Shiva is not able to do, we may go to Kshiradhi, where Sriman Narayana is there. If at all Sriman Narayana is also not able to do, we will come to Ayodhya and get it solved from you. What he literally means is, I am praising you, you are so powerful, do what I want. Upon listening to these words of Vishwamitra, those words which were laden and immersed in honey, Dasharatha said, whatever you desire, I will do it. There was a great research scholar. He was a pioneer in the speaking of beautiful English language. In fact, he was trained in the south of India. Later, even the Britishers would have their queries and questions and their doubts about the English language solved by him. He will come and solve those particular doubts. Who was he? He was called the silver-tongued man of the colonial empire. He was given the title Right Honorable. He was referred to as Srinivasa Shastri. In my Bhagyam, I had the opportunity to visit and be audience to the first citizen of India. When I say the first citizen, the first man of India, the Honorable President, the previous President of India, Sri Ramnath Kovind. So while I was in the Rashtrapati Bhavan, amongst the various things that attracted me was a huge portrait of this person who worshipped the Ramayana. So if you go into the Rashtrapati Bhavan, you will find a huge portrait of this great personality, Right Honorable V.S. Srinivasa Shastri. So in the 1930s, from his research, he gave wonderful English lectures in the Madras Sanskrit College in Chennai. Those lectures were transcribed and compiled and were referred to as lectures on the Ramayana. He states there, King Dasharatha seems to have had a fatal defect. King Dasharatha had a fatal defect of promising in haste and repenting at leisure. So he would give away those promises. He will say, I will promise this, I'll promise that. Then he will sit back and think, why did I promise? Similarly, Dasharatha was so true. The moment Vishwamitra praised him, even without thinking, he said, whatever you ask, I shall grant. But what is Vishwamitra going to ask? By the way, who is this Vishwamitra? He is a Brahma Rishi. How did he become a Brahma Rishi? He is also referred to as an ex-Raja Rishi. Why was he an ex-Raja Rishi? We should be seeing that in the next episode.
Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a two-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.